Now, if you know Faversham, you'll know the Guildhall, of course, that spectacular building in Marketplace on the stilts. But did you know that you can hire it as a venue for weddings? Rob Gibbs from Faversham Town Council explains all.
Guildhall, right in the heart of Faversham. It's the building that everybody knows on stilts. Built in 1814 and the stilts date from 1457. It's licensed to hold wedding ceremonies 7 days a week and on bank holidays even. And it's aimed at micro weddings, so wedding ceremonies with 50 or less guests.
It is a lovely building to hold a wedding in, isn't it? And despite its age, it's accessible as well.
Yes, indeed. It has a portable ramp and a lift as well, so anybody who's got mobility issues won't have a problem accessing the main room.
And why would people choose the Guildhall? Is it because it's a beautiful historic location in the town, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. It's really its splendour. It's quite decorative, so you don't have to put a lot of effort into dressing it up because it's already got all the architectural elements in it. We get a lot of interest from Faversham locals who have grown up in the area and it's been the backdrop to their childhood and their family history. But similarly, we get interest from people from all over the country who might have a connection with Faversham, or they just like the building. So we've had a few people from the Midlands this year have their weddings here. It's been absolutely wonderful, yeah.
So it's licensed for the actual wedding service, isn't it? And how does that all work?
Yes, indeed. So we're licensed by Kent County Council. So if you book a ceremony at the Guildhall, we will arrange with them to supply the registrars. That's not to say you have to have a traditional wedding ceremony with registrars. You can, if you wish, have a more informal ceremony with an independent celebrant and then have the legal part of the ceremony at another registry office if you wish to.
Now I didn't realise that about weddings. So you've got the legal part of it, which which is the sort of formal official signing of the documents. But then there's the celebrant side. What does the celebrant do?
The celebrant does similar, it leads the ceremony, but with a celebrant you have more choice in what you can do more symbolic gestures, and you can have your own sort of words and music, and if you want it to be slightly more religious, you can have those elements within the service which you can't have with the formal registrar.
I think people don't realise that sometimes, do they? That with the formal registrar, there are a lot of things you're not allowed to do, and religious music and religious readings are part of that, aren't they? You have to do those separately.
Yes, indeed, yes. You'd have to, basically, the registrar will do the formal part of the process, so the signing of the document and the issuing of the certificate, but you can do that independent from your ceremony day if you want to, and just have the more informal and relaxed celebrant ceremony if you want to. But there's different options available, yeah.
And what about the after party? Because you've had the wedding, you've done the official bit. Are you able to hold your wedding reception in the Guildhall?
We haven't done that in the past. But most of our couples tend to have quite small ceremonies. They either end up in the Bear or they go to a restaurant. We do have the assembly rooms in Preston Street, which is a venue that can take about 120 people, and that's really spectacularly ornate. So again, that wouldn't need a lot of dressing up.
And as a venue for weddings, because weddings can be incredibly expensive, the Guildhall's quite, I think we call it reasonably priced, wouldn't we?
It is. It's not a large profit-making business for the council. It's really just a way of opening up the Guildhall to the community. So our prices are quite reasonable in comparison to other commercial premises. So, for example, if you have a wedding on a weekday, it's £300, and if it's a Saturday, £400. Sundays and bank holidays, £450. So we feel that they're quite reasonable in comparison to going to a different venue.
You can find details on how to hire the Guildhall in Faversham on the Faversham Town Council website. Lisa Baldock from LK Wedding Fayres was one of the organisers of the event that I attended at the Alexander Centre.
We organise wedding fairs in London, Kent and the South East, and we've branched out to Sussex as well. So it's a great way for couples to come along and find all the things they need for their wedding, from photographers to photo booths to cakes to celebrants, literally everything all in one room, so they don't have to sort of scratch around and find these things, because it's stressful enough with weddings anyway. So yeah, so we like to make it a nice occasion. They come and see the venue, they can see the ceremony room dressed if they are getting married in that venue. We love it. It's such a lovely day.
Why did you choose to get involved with weddings? Because generally they are quite stressful for some people, aren't they?
They are very stressful, but the whole point of a wedding fair is to find all the things you need under one roof. So it takes that stress out. And especially if you've got a wedding planner as well that can help you along the way. So yeah, we find it's a good thing for couples to come and get some nice ideas.
And what about the sort of trends and fashions? You must see things sort of come and go in the wedding industry.
Trends do change constantly, so you've got to constantly keep up with the times. So that's why we hold these wedding fairs, because we hold different ones all throughout the year. So as trends change, you come to a new wedding fair, you're going to see something different every single time.
And it's important, one of the things at a wedding fair that you can do, which maybe you can't do online, is actually meet the people you're going to be working with for your wedding, the most important day of your life. And building a relationship with those suppliers, I imagine, is really important.
Oh, absolutely. You can have 3 photographers in the room at a wedding fair, but you might only connect with one of them. So it's all about people buying into people and personalities, and everyone has their own style, which is why we like to give a good broad range of different exhibitors. Some people might like a nice rustic wedding, someone might want to be ultra modern. So this is why these wedding fairs are so important.
What have you seen as the sort of changes over time, really, for weddings? Because, there used to be just a church and then a DJ afterwards, but there's a lot more to that now, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of it's to do with social media. So they've got all the little extras like the magician, they've got like the casino, they've got the caravan photo booth. It's all about being showy if you want something, rather than the little quiet wedding like what it used to be.
I mean, couples have to work together on this, though, don't they, on their wedding planning? And the whole family really gets involved as well.
Oh, absolutely, yes. You'll see grooms do love to come along. Years ago, it was just left the woman sort of, I know it sounds a bit sexist, but women used to just sort of know what they wanted and get it booked, whereas now it's lovely because everyone gets involved. It makes it a real family thing, and the husbands to be can all get involved and have their input of what they like and what they don't like. So I think that takes stress off the bride as well. Yeah, so a lot of families, they come as a whole family. They bring their children, because obviously there's couples of all ages getting married these days, from very young to very old. Some are renewing their wedding vows as well. So they basically maybe couldn't afford the wedding they wanted years ago, so they're renewing their vows and having everything that they can afford now, and it's lovely.
Now, we're here at the Alexander Centre in Faversham. What other wedding fairs have you got coming up over the next few months for people to attend?
Oh, so our next one we've got one at the Stifford Hall Hotel in Thurrock on the 7th of April. And we've also got one in Bromley Old Town Hall coming up later in the year. We've got Chapel House Estate in November. We've got Meridian Hall at East Grinstead. So if you look at our website, lkweddingfairs.com, you'll see all our wedding fairs listed there. It's free to come along, so we'd love to see you there.
Brilliant. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this wedding fair special from Radio Faversham. From myself, Mike Adams, goodbye.